drama starts. Lap 30, 8 laps to go. Sandobi hoping to take advantage of these lapped cars. Pileski goes, dives on the right side. Very aggressive here. This is lap 4. The two Viceroys. Bill Frazier ahead of Matt Pileski. Frazier's off. Frazier hit the grass. You hit that tire wall, your day is done. Well, now it's lap 20. The Williams still trying to get around the Terrell team as he'll go around the lap car and around those at the same time. At the same time. He's got the inside corner. Will he ride the curb? Yes, he will. He will get him on the inside. Nuno Maria leading us all into Moss's corner. Look at the beauty as his right side will cook the grass. Oh, a 180, no, a 360. Oh. Who will yield going into this corner? It's really not meant for too wide as it will be Gernot. Gernot will yield. Lots of smoke picking up from that Williams car. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. 26 of 30 now. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to get the run coming out the final corner. He's going to pull up side by side with the leader. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who is going to get there first? It's going to be...
The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and he missed the complete that. He's crazy.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Since 1922, Italian race fans have come in droves to see Formula One action here at the Autodromo Nazionale Monza. The 5.6-kilometer circuit has been home to some of the series' most historic races. Today, in our virtual iRacing world, we bring back one of the classic Formula One cars to speed around one of the world's most fabled tracks on the global SimRacing channel. Good afternoon, I'm Justin Prince, and welcome to round 12 of the Classic Team Championship from Monza, Italy. Today we have 28 laps around the Grand Prix circuit without its first chicane, and joining me today for the action will be Bill Soupçon, and the man behind the curtain running the show will be Amjad Yaman. Once again, we'll be using cameras provided by the great Dougie Beard. And now, Bill, last week we saw Nuno Morero go from a great driver to legend status, coming away with a victory at Cirque du Spa-Francorchamps by about 5 seconds. Now that track is a pretty difficult one to handle with these Lotus 79s. This week, though, we'll see the drivers having to conquer an extremely fast track. Why don't you tell us a bit more about what to expect today from Monza, Bill?
Without that first chicane, fast indeed. Officially called Autodromo Nazionale Monza, the track is located in the city of Monza, north of Milan, Italy. Built in 1922, it was the world's third purpose-built racetrack after Brooklands in Surrey, England, and Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The track's proximity to the Ferrari headquarters in Maranello makes Monza the unchallenged home of the Italian Grand Prix, being held here every year except one. Over the years, the track has gone through several layout changes, including in 1954, the construction of the high bank oval. At this very moment, the final touches are being put on the latest changes that include removing Rettifilio chicane and reworking Curva Grande. So, with that in mind, for today, the drivers will race on the familiar Grand Prix layout, but without Rettifilio. This makes Curva Grande, that sweeping right-hander, corner number 1 on this 5.6-kilometer, 3.5-mile, 9-turn layout. But the best way to get an idea of what this place is really like is to roll out the GSRC Lotus 79, dust it off, and jump on board to take a lap around Autodromo Nazionale Monza.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around Monza. Blasting down the front straightaway, draft battles will be plentiful. There's no first chicane in this layout, so drivers will be flat to the floor for a long, long time. In fact, once they hit Curva Grande, they still won't lift because the downforce of the Lotus makes it a breeze to power through. As you come out of it, drift back to the right and set up to brake for Della Rosa. This will effectively become the first real corner, and this chicane could cause some pileups with how tight and slow it is. Stay off the tall sausage curbs because the car won't like them. From there, it's a short burst to the first Lesmo, where ideally you want to take it with a late apex. The slight bit of camber can deceive you into turning in too early. You can use the AstroTurf on exit, but get back to the asphalt and then line up for the second Lesmo. This is the more critical of the two turns because the exit leads onto a very long straightaway with heavy braking at the end of it. Passing opportunities will be rife, and a lot of drivers will be trying to take advantage of anyone lacking a good launch. As we come under the bridge, hold to the right and spot your brake marker for Ascari. This chicane is very different from the other one with 3 apexes and a lot faster line. Try to open up the final apex for the best run you can get down into Parabolica. The pavement to the right is all fair game, so drivers are likely to let it swing wide to help carry their speed. Finally, as we approach the final corner, you can attempt to pass here, but I'm not sure that it's always wise in most cases. Parabolica gives a nice big braking zone and the track is plenty wide, so that's not the issue here. It's because when you come out of the turn, you're back on the main straight where anyone within a stone's throw will suck up to the rear of you and overtake you again. It might be better to wait until here to slipstream by your opponent. But hopefully you keep it all together and have now finished a lap around Monza.
And that was Amjad Yama driving behind the wheel and Joe Peak on the speaker for your GSRC lap guide. Now, of course, this week is round 12 of 12 of the 2017 Season 4 year. And throughout the year, there have been 4 drop dates, 4 drivers, 2 overall for teams. As mentioned today, it'll be a 28-lap race with open setups available. No stop is required for fuel, as if you know about these Lotus 79s, you can last about maybe 90 minutes on the track with fuel. Points go through officially with iRacing. But here's the thing, let's check out those points, Bill.
Okay, the GSRC stat boys, Simon and Pondexter, have been hard at work, and they might be giving us more info than we really need. What you're looking at is, at this point, is the running total, taking into account those 4 dropped events allowed for in the rules. So if you look at the current leader, Juha Noralampi for Fittipaldi Automotive, the Finns total is 1,419 points, shown in white. Just above that number in yellow, indicated with that small d, is his highest drop score. That's 173 points. What that means is, if Martians were to land before this race and actually abducted Juha away from in their saucer, he would be guaranteed those 173 points to be added to his total. Now, let's look at the driver in second. That's Nuno Moreira, driving for San Marino Racing. The Portuguese driver is only 3 points back from Noralampi, but his drop race is only 180 points. So if those pesky Martians kidnap both Juha and Nuno, the Finns would be the champion. Boy, have I confused you guys. Stick with me. Another way to look at it is Moreira must earn at least 176 points. That's 3 more than Nuno's drop race to even have a chance to win. Holy moly, let's keep going. Austria's Juno Frisch sits in third for Williams. Noralampi's countrymate, Kalle Ruicola, moved up a spot into fourth for Williams, pushing the Ferrari driver, the Austrian Gerb Hoffer, down to fifth. Unfortunately, driver scores are not based on their performance solely on the broadcast races, but on every official iRacing event during the week for each round over the 12-round schedule. So because the season doesn't officially end until tomorrow, GSRC won't be able to announce the official champion during the post-race show, but we can make some pretty safe assumptions. All right, let's move on to the team championship. Highest drop races are shown here as well. Remember, teams only get 2 of those. Noralampi and QC Clapp lead for Fittipaldi. Steve Bycroft and John Stevens will be hard-pressed to get equipped Talbot Gitanis higher than second place. Ruicolo and Gilles Tau have Williams 5 points to the good on the podium. Ferrari falls out of a tie for third, man by Hoffer and Daniel Gattuso. Gerber, that sounds like a law firm, has Renault in fifth, 15 points off the podium. Again, while we can't announce the final results of today during the wrap-up show, GSRC will be able to bring you those results in the pre-race show for the opening round of next season. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that. And of course, you don't want to have Martians and duck drivers right out of the middle of the racetrack as you see qualifying going on here.
That's in the upcoming build. I've got the inside scoop.
Okay. I'm pretty sure it may or may not be, but we'll find out on December the 5th when that build comes out. But as you see, all drivers except for one have put in times in qualifying. Juha Noralampi currently on top of the boards, followed by Nicola Cocci, Gernot Frisch, Matt Wood, and Nuno Moreira round out your top 5 for the moment. Right around the estimates for the lap time for poles, about 1 minute, 30 seconds for the lap times. All about within 2 seconds from 1st to 19th.
You want a cool consumption game, and of course we recommend you do this with non-alcoholic beverages. GSRC cares. Every time Justin or I just butcher one of these drivers' names, go ahead, take a sip.
Okay.
There's ways to enjoy the broadcast, man.
Yes, of course. As you see right now, about 15 seconds on the clock. The only driver on the track right now is Adam Frazier, who will not be able to get his lap time in. Last in the split in terms of IR rating, as it was a 2-split event. 39 overall registered, 20 for the top split. But of course, it's going to be a long race here, about 43 estimated minutes in terms of the race time across this gigantic circuit. But just like that, let's head from the real world to the virtual circuit as it's time to set up your grid. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. Starting off, let's go off with about 10 at a time, shall we? Johan Norlampi starts on the pole for today, along with Nicola Cocci. Jerno Frisch starts off in row 2 with Matt Wood just beside him. That was 3/10 off the pole time. Nuno Moreira, last week's winner, starts off in row number 3. Johan Kazi Johnson starts off in 6. Fabian Gerber starts off 7 along with Steve Bycroft, while Mark Pickford starts with Timo Toika. And now, Bill?
In 11th, it's Kalle Ruokola. Pablo Suarez in the 12th spot. In the Baker's dozen position, it's Lear Hughes. Sean Whitshire in the 14th spot. 15th is Cedric Crowless. Marco Kika is in the Sweet 16 position. Best Medicine Laughter in 17th. John Stevens, Thurston Cowell, and Adam Frazier make up our 20-car grid. There was a split today. This was a big grid, so there's probably another 20 racing in the other split. Big turnout.
Definitely a big turnout as everyone's continuing to grid up for this race. It's definitely a growing series here on the iRacing service here for today's race. Every year since 1922, except for a few off years here and there, specifically 1980 during the last renovations when the Italian Grand Prix went to Imola. The Grand Prix for the Italian Grand Prix for the Formula One has been coming here to Monza, so it has a big, rich history, and we're just about set to go for the starting grid. As you see here, drivers get about 2 minutes to get set to go. The lights are almost set to go. Drivers revving their engines, and off they go. The green flag is out. We're underway here from Monza. And everyone's starting off with a decent start. Already 3 wide. Nicola Cocci did not get as good of a launch, dropping back as they will be going 185 miles per hour into this very first tight bend right here. A lot of drivers having to brake. We got trouble as there's major contact. That is in 3rd spot. 3, 4, 5 cars around as multiple cars were involved as we head into the first chicanes.
We'll come back to it. It started with Fabian Gerber getting loose right in front of Kajanen, and then all heck broke out after that. We'll get that replay at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, we're going to have to come back to that because we still have action to go here on this first opening lap of 28 laps. Nora Lampe, the preacher, leads things off here for this grouping as he is currently trying to space out from 2nd place right now. As you see, going underneath the bridge, getting ready to enter the next chicanes. Tight left, right here, about going down to about 90 miles per hour going through these chicanes. As Nora Lampe tries to separate himself from Jerno Frisch. Right behind him in 3rd, Nero Moreira, who had to dodge those accidents in the back. Everyone trying to use the draft because it is a track, for today at least, where you have to depend on that speed as they come around the tight, swifting right end corner, coming down the front stretch. And Nora Lampe will lead the first lap here from Monza. And now we're going to go to the GSRC replay to show everything that happened just right now in that first chicane for the very tight corner here.
You can see Gerber get loose right in front of Kajanen, and those two make contact. Sneaking right underneath the flying car is Nicholas Cocci, and then some cars check up behind, and that involves Bycroft gets rear-ended by Suarez, and Hughes gets into as well, so at least 5 cars involved.
Yeah, you see here in our view here coming from Joni Kurajenen, as you see him bouncing off the wall into the air, landing in the sand trap. And you don't want to build sandcastles in the middle of the first lap, as that ended up getting about, as you said, 5 cars involved. A few spectators watching through the iRacing session, including Antti Lapisto and Jonathan Botel, both of them saying they were surprised that some of the drivers made it through what they saw there.
Yeah, I think one driver actually went underneath. Kochi actually went under a car. A couple may have taken advantage of some magic netcode there as they kind of went through a few machines. Look at this battle for second between Juno Frisch. He's being challenged by Morieta right now.
And you can see right now, Frisch in front, in second spot, in front of Morera. Morera, of course, came away with the victory last week over Nora Lampe. As you see them, these cars going to go a lot of speed here around the start and finish line, about 170 miles per hour. You see Morera using the draft in the pole. Going to use the slingshot for the right side as they go through the sweeping right turn before the chicanes. One of these people are going to have to let off. They're 193.
Whoa!
And Frisch is going to just tap the grass. And Morera is going to possibly get the position. Yes, he will.
How about that as they work down into what is now the first chicane? My gosh, through Della Roggia. Nice job. What a great job from both of those drivers.
Yeah, great job so far for a lot of these drivers. Marka Kakika coming into the pits, meanwhile, for repairs for his car as this is going on, as you see a view of the grandstands. But right now, Nora Lampe still distancing himself up by 1.2 seconds over that battle you see with Morera and Juno Frisch.
You can see that low-angle Dougie Beard shot there where those 5 cars have pulled away. Nicholas Kochi now is in 5th position. Remember, he's the guy that avoided that melee that happened on the first lap. It's almost 6 seconds back to Mark Pickford in the next train of cars. Pickford ahead of Bycroft and Ruicolo.
Yeah, and right now Bycroft setting up as basically that middleman in the sandwich. And you see behind there Kelly Ruicolo digging in deep there, possibly trying to set himself for the pass, but he's going to get a wide exit. Bycroft, though, not a good exit himself, as that could and will cost him the position. Bycroft will drop to 8th as Ruicolo drives by and takes advantage of the mistake.
Yeah, the Indiana driver there, Bycroft, had a bad exit. The Finn goes ahead, moves up into 7th now. These guys are trying to pull away from Krojcek, who's back there. Cedric in 9th position.
Yeah, and Timo Takoya is currently rounding out your top 10, 1.4 seconds back of 9th spot, which is Cedric Krojcek, as you see them going through that first chicane right there. Yeah, everything's starting to separate a little bit, but Nora Lampe's having Nuno Morera close up the gap and quick up front. As before the chicanes, it was about a 1.4 second lead. It shrunk down to 0.7 of a second.
Morieta is coming. In fact, he's bringing the rest of the guys with him. Frisch, Wood, and Kochi all coming along there. There's that 5-car train up front. Nora Lampe not able to drive away.
Yeah, not to make any mistakes right now if he wants to keep this lead, even though it's early on in the race.
Oh, you can visually see the gap. I love that camera shot there, so you can see how far they really are. A whole straightaway ahead of the cars in 6th position of Mark Pickford.
Yeah, no. Part of this, I think, too, is using the ground effects for the Lotus 79, because they use the ground effect aerodynamics to essentially help reduce the drag, essentially, for the back and so forth when they were working on this car. So as you see, everyone able to swing along and kind of working similarly, I guess, to a stock car, but the open wheel version of that. All these drivers using each other to somehow gain some spots and gain some extra speed. Morera still 0.6 back. Now as Nora Lampe hits the wall. Nora Lampe bounced off the barriers, off the Armco barriers. Something happened to him. Let's check out the GSRC replay.
Looking at it, he looks okay. He gets the car. Boy, you know, maybe the car got the left side tires a little bit wide out of Roggia, and then he just lost control of it from the lead. That's about being pressured by Morieta. Watch one more time. The exit looks okay. It looks like he just got the car up on the left side tires, up on the the curbing there and the car got loose on him. He crashes from the lead, your points leader.
An absolutely huge mistake here. I was mentioning you don't want to make a mistake even in the early part of the race. That one is a fatal mistake, as Nuno Moreira is now about 8/10 in front of Janot Frisch. One of the first things that Nora Lampe did after crashing was say, "Congratulations, Moreira." Right now, feeling a little confident for Moreira.
Now, I wonder if that congratulations is for getting the win of the race, or you think that's maybe something, the turning point in the championship. Remember how close they were in the points. And again, it's based on over the whole week of racing. So if he's had better races earlier in the week, maybe this won't be as painful. Can we quickly go back to 10th position real quick? This little battle will give a shout out here to John Stevens and Ben Laughter as they battle to get inside the top 10. It's not quite as close as it was before.
Yes, it's a good battle you mentioned right there. It's about 0.6 of a second right now between the two of them. John Stevens hanging on to the top 10. Ben Laughter, who basically in practice ran 27 laps to make sure his Converse Lotus 79 was set to go for the race, is currently trying to close up the gap. As we've seen Ben Laughter in many series here on GSRC, you see him trying to get those exits, but not as good on the exits as John Stevens, which is losing him a little bit of time.
You know, I want to follow up on the point I just made about the points throughout the week. I had forgotten this is a two-split event, so the points for this race are going to be big. I would think that whatever you score here might be something you can hang your hat on for the week, so I can understand why now Nora Lampe's thinking that maybe he has let the championship, well, it's sitting somewhere near that chicane.
And right now you're seeing Nuno Moreira leading things off, still up by about 0.6 of a second over Janot Frisch, as multiple battles starting to form up along the track. Currently sitting in fourth spot, Nicola Kochi, right behind Matt Wood. That is about a half second back for Kochi. As you see those two right there, they're slowly trying to close in too.
That battle for fourth as here's the leaders coming at you. You wonder what's going into Moreira's head now. He realizes actually he's being close. Frisch is starting to run him down a bit. He realizes that maybe the championship is his, not even with a win. Maybe second place is enough to get him the crown. You wonder if that's going to play into the way he drives the rest of these, the rest of the 22 laps to go.
I think part of it, you have to basically run your own race, but as well as be aware of that situation. You see them passing by a car on the left side, meanwhile, as I'm not, that is Marco Kika right there with a ton of damage as the leaders drive right by him.
Go to third real quick. Wood had an off going through a Scari. He is under pressure right now. Here comes Kochi. Boy, Wood taking his half out of the middle. Kochi gets to the inside. He's going to make this work as they go down into Parabolica.
And a good pass set up from Kochi, taking advantage of the mistake once again. As these cars continue to pick things up right now. You see Wood, though, getting a bit of a drag and tow. He's going to work to the left side as they'll go side by side towards the right bend. And Wood just may get the spot back, 190 miles per hour heading into the bend.
How much better is this layout without that first chicane in it? My gosh, that's so exciting as they drive down in there and curve and grande. He gets the spot back. Nice job, Matt Wood.
And we're going to now go to P6. Timo Takia right now battling for that spot with Cedric Korselic and Steve Bycroft. That battle very close together, entering the first chicane themselves. And right now you see it's eventually going to possibly turn to a four-car battle. Mark Pickford also entering the picture for that battle as Takia leading that grouping.
Those of you, go ahead.
I'm going to say you can see him gain the great exit there where Korselic lost about a tenth on just from that exit alone here. You were going to say, though, Bill.
Okay, for the sake of everybody's liver, I'm going to try to pronounce these names right from sixth position back. Timo Toika is being chased by Cedric Krolchek. Then you got Steve Bycroft. That's a nice one. Mark Pickford back there as well. Now they're coming up on the lap car, getting out of the way. That's Kika. Marco, good job. Look at Marco just gets off there. He's going to let everybody go by.
And Toyka right now getting a very strong exit, going 140 miles per hour, using the curbing in any space he can to try and get some separation on Koychek. As you see them going down the front stretch, still 20 laps to go for them. As this battle should be continuing to heat up as the race goes on. Toyka only went 188, letting off a slight touch for this bend. But you see there, it's somewhat to his advantage because he got somewhat separation as they go into the chicane. And we're going to check out what's going on in front. Janot Frisch had closed the gap to about 4/10. And just from one bad exit through turns 3 and 4 on the track, he's now fallen back another 3/10 just from one mistake on a corner. Right now, you see those lap times too. They are just about even, just about a 10th difference. The only drivers faster on the track last time around were Matt Wood, and Callie Ricola on the track at the moment.
All this going on behind Morietta, who still has a 7/10 of a second lead as we look at Frisch trying to run him down.
And I think Frisch actually lost a little bit of time there. In fact, he did on that exit. He's going to have to work hard to be able to keep up. He's a little bit faster on the straightaways with the toe, but not fast enough to close the gap quite yet with these technical turns and chicanes that they also have to deal with in these Lotus 79s.
Looking at Frisch as they go through, heading now into the first chicane, which is really the second chicane that everyone's familiar with. The first chicane today. Then they're back on the gas as they come up. Going to work on through the Lesmos. Lesmo 1, Lesmo 2, then down into Ascari, which is still there. Very fun corner, that left, right, left double chicane.
Yeah, definitely a fun track and a fast track as mentioned. As these two continue to try. Right now, Frisch continues to try and chase down Morera. But right now, the battle continues to heat up between Nicola Kochi and Matt Wood, for example, for third spot. As now Wood, check that right there, though. Wood got a very bad exit through the right-hander. Almost cut the course and lost a ton of time.
That Wood had a great run out of the second Lesmo, was really making up some great time, then totally blew it through Ascari. He's going to have to get the job, start back over. Plenty of time, though, still with 19 laps to go.
The sad thing for Wood, he was almost on the back wing of Nicola Kochi through those corners until that bad run.
Let's drop back to 7th real quick, because I think Steve Bycroft is going to have a good run out of Parabolica. Let's see what kind of draft he gets here. He's about 4 car lanes back. Can he make a run on Krojcek? 4 car lanes, 3 car lanes. Don't think he's going to get there. Got to be a little closer. Well, here he comes. Is he going to force the issue into Curva Grande? No.
Safe decision there. Do not want to force the issue at hand with still 18 to go. As Bycroft takes the corner safely, drops from 192 to 182 to get through the corner. As you see, the 3 cars there of Toyka, Krojcek, and Bycroft all very close together. Pickford falling a little bit behind of them now. It's about a 1.9 second difference now between Bycroft and Pickford.
Yeah, Mark was in the hunt for a little while. He was doing his very best to hang on to the back of those guys, but once the 3 of them really started to get their act together, they left Mark Pickford behind. 12 drivers still on the lead lap, 20 that started. 7 of them have had trouble.
Yeah, the 7 that have had trouble involve Juha Norlampe, Adam Frazier, Yoni Kanjigen, Fabian Gerber, Pablo Labreas Suarez, Hughes, and Frisch has trouble, and as he is whacked from second spot on the front stretch. And a huge development.
Boy, I've had that happen. You get a little bit hot. You do not want to get out on the outside there of that curbing, especially with these ground effect cars.
Yeah, you see right there, the left front suspension bounced up and it bounced the car into the Armco barrier. That could and should end off Jermaine Frischke's race. He has towed it from that. We'll see it once again. Just got too much of a bounce with the ground effect car and slammed hard, destroying the front end.
For youngsters who don't really understand what ground effects is, you would think that most of the downforce comes from the wings, and it does. But what ground effect is, it's the way that the car sucks down. It's the formation, it's the undercarriage that makes like a vacuum that sucks the car to the ground. If you get the car too high up, if you start going over the curves, you lose all the effect of that ground effects, and I think so is what happened to him on the exit of Parabolica. Well, another incident from one of the leaders. This is good news for Nuno now. It takes a little bit of the pressure off of him.
I think it takes a lot of pressure off. It's now a 2.9 second lead because of that incident. Yeah, the next car behind is Nicola Cocci, who is still in second, battling still with Matt Wood. So that gives him a heck of a lot of breathing room here coming down the front stretch for Morera. You see him in the backdrop of this shot with Cocci and Wood. Wood's been able to close back up the gap that he had separate from the mistake a few laps ago, but they're going to have a long ways away to work to try and get to Morera. Going to go to position number 5 as Toyka now going for the pass. Trying to get the position on the inside, as you see, of Krojcik. And he's able to get by in the chicane. In the big right bend, I should say, about 185 going into the first chicanes. And that should get him, and will get him into the top 5. Steve Bycroft waiting on the helm now, too, as Toyka able to get the good run.
Bycroft with a bad exit out of that chicane. He's able to hang in there. This is the best battle right now for 5th.
Yeah, and right now this battle could see a few things shifting around, potentially with Bycroft wanting to move into 6th, just on behind of Krojcik, as you see him trying to use as much speed as he can, but Bycroft with the pole able to get more speed because he's behind because he's behind, I should say, of Krojcik.
Now, you want to get a good exit out of Ascari because that gives you a good run down into Parabolico. You're probably not going to make the pass going into the final corner, but you're going to make it coming out. I don't think that Krojcik is close enough right now. He gets on the back of Toyka, not going to be there. But we'll look at Bycroft. Bycroft very wide through Parabolica. Can he get a good exit out of here? We've seen him before. Now he's back about 7 car lengths. I think he's a little bit too far back unless he is really confident or aggressive, depending on how you want to look at it.
15 laps to go in the race, but he's going to have it's probably going to take him another few laps to plan himself for the pass. Of course, you do not want to end up having a mistake like we've seen with a few of the lead cars today. Jermaine Frischke has, by the way, put his car completely behind the garage area. It is done for the day. 11 cars are left on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap, who we haven't talked much about, is Thorsten Kahl, who is the number 11 car. As you see right now, you see him way on back, 54 seconds back of the next car in front of him. He still gained 8 spots, though. He started 19th. So good day for your IR for sure if you're him with the number 19 car in the split. You see, though, with the damage from the opening incident, that has lost him a lot of speed. But Bycroft getting back to that battle now for 6th, with Krojcik still able to keep up.
We'll follow that around one more time. Again, the pass will probably be made on the front straight. You can see that Toyka starting to pull away, though, from Krojcik. Krojcik's really going to have to work. Now, this time, I think Bycroft's a lot closer than he was the last time. Again, what can he do on corner exit? He gets into Parabolica good. Better drive off, but I think he's a little too far back.
I think he's still maybe about a lap away from really getting into the position to make the pass. As you see him getting a decent pull and tow, but of course cannot get close enough to get alongside yet.
Our fellow commentator, Joe Peak, likes to call that reconnaissance racing. And I think Bycroft realizes, where am I going to go? If I get around Krojcik anyway, I'm not going to be able to pull away from him. So he's just sitting back there, just waiting back there. Let's go back and look at this P9 battle. We talked a little bit about before. This is Laughter and Stevens. I thought Laughter was being able to pull away, but John Stevens has ran him down.
Yeah, Laughter right now. Of course, when we first looked at this, it was John Stevens in front of Laughter, I believe it was. In fact, it was. But now this battle is heating back up again, where John Stevens wants his position back. You've seen their Laughter getting some wide exits. Got to be careful with that curbing there, as that was was in part what happened to Janelle Frisk onto the front stretch. As you see, going down into the chicanes, the tight left, right, left. And still not in position, John Stevens. But John Stevens, you can tell, wants that spot back. Just losing a little bit of time here on that exit now, half a second back. But it's going to come down to how he does in this front stretch exit. Really digging the car deep into the corner. And he's able to make it stick. Still able to keep a decent car length behind of Laughter. I don't think it's enough, though, to make the pass quite yet.
Let's go to 6 real quick. I think he's got to run. Here comes Mycroft. He's going to make a move into Curva Grande. He had a good run that time. He is side by side. He gets alongside. Can he keep the car in a tight inside line? He does. I think the pass is made. Let's see if Krolchev tries to fight back before they get to the chicane. No. Give the position to Mycroft for now.
There's the key word right there, for now, as the Duchentes driver able to move up into 6th. Good catch on that as well. I was about to bring that one up. As you've seen with that battle with Laughter and Stevens, Mycroft's teammate in Stevens is trying to get the same kind of pass set up, which could be happening on the next time by, based on what we're seeing here on the track. Meanwhile, we're taking a look here across the different angles. Steve Mycroft still on your screen. Callie Ricola currently, though, he's had a little bit of a struggle in this race. Still in 4th, though, with no friends around him whatsoever at the moment.
Let's take a peek. I hate to get away from Ricola, but let's take a peek at Kochi right now in 3rd. Racing in 2nd. I apologize. My timing and scoring was off. Matt Wood beginning to close on him.
Yeah, and we were talking about that before, that has the potential. They have closed up somewhat to Morera, about 2.4 seconds back Kochi is now. But as you see on your screen, Wood wants that spot. He's hungry to get at least on the 2nd step of the podium, as Kochi runs through to the corners well, drives out. And he's still got about a good separation. Wood is still positioning himself well for the pass, possibly next time by once again. As we're going to go to 10th, John Stevens going through that right bend on the back wing of Ben Laughter right now, heading to that same chicane.
Lots of good battles going on through the field.
Yeah, he almost got into the position for the pass, about 1/10 of a second back before that chicane. As they go through the tight braking sections, hitting the gas, hitting the brakes once again at that 50 sign, getting back onto the gas. As right now, that is still a heating up battle, 4th, 10th spot. As we're going to go back up to that position battle for 2nd, as right now, Kochi and Wood still closing in on Morera, as both of them wanting to possibly try and make a run for the lead if they can somehow catch up to Morera.
A much tighter line through Parabolica that time from Wood than Fraser. I'm not sure if he got a better exit, but he's now about 3 car lengths back, 2 car lengths. He's got the run. I think he's going to dive it down in there.
Yes, he is. And look at this. Wood passing by what is normally the first chicane, able to make the pass. And he's going to get in front of Nicola Kochi for the position. Can he hold on to it, though, as Kochi? And yes, he's going to keep on to it. Kochi just falls behind. Still 2.6 seconds back to Morera.
Right, I wonder if those two guys could start working together, maybe try that every lap, see if they could slingshot themselves back up to Moriera. But remember, Moriera was pretty, well, actually, Kochi was faster in qualifying. He had a 30.8 compared to a 31.2, so in theory, Kochi should be the faster car. In fact, both Kochi and Wood qualified ahead of Moriera.
Yeah, you mentioned those times right now, and with the times they've been putting on the track, they've been about 1 to 2 tenths faster than Moriera so far on the track. because of that drafting effect. As you see right now, Wood still in that second spot. Both of them really separating things off. As we continue to look through the field, you see Kochi maybe trying to do the exact same pass on Wood as Wood slid a little tiny bit into that entrance.
I'm not sure that's the worst case for both of these guys if Wood to keep a nice line, let Kochi get a run, and see if they can run down the leader this way. Here's
the thing, though, with the pass the last time around with Wood in front, they went 3/10 slower than Morera. You see now Kochi quickly zooming on by for the position. And
yeah, you want
just let him on by, I should say.
What he wants to do, I think Wood did let him by because he doesn't want to ruin the corner speed through Curva Grande. If they are going to try to run those guys down, you need a little bit of cooperation, a little bit of choreography between Kochi and Wood. Hey, let's go back quickly to 5th position because I got a guy saying, uh-oh, and that is Timo Toika, because once Bycroft got around Klocek, he said, see you later, and now he is running up on the back of Toika.
And Toika with his fan club watching alongside with them, trying to keep on to a top 5 finish as Steve Bycroft, as you mentioned, from Gigentes, closing on in 6/10 back. That time, Toika getting a decent exit by Bycroft, immediately closing the gap, giving up. In fact, an absolutely great exit, entering down the fast straightaway as they'll go through the quick chicanes right here.
Coming up on the lap car of Krall. Krall will get out of the way. I've seen him do this before. He running in 11th. This may help, though, Toika. Toika may get a little bit of a toe behind that lap car. In fact, look at him. He's trying to stay behind him.
Yep, exactly what he's doing, trying to get a bit more separation on Bycroft, using the speed of the slower car. As you see there, Bycroft using a lower line on exit, Toika on the higher line. At that time, it ends up with Bycroft getting the better exit, not in the position yet to make the pass.
Well, I don't know, is he? Here he comes.
And check and correct me there, as you see there, Bycroft had to let off, though. He got a ton of speed, just could not get enough for the slingshot yet. Toika will now go into the first chicane with the position still in 5th. 9 laps to go here at Monza.
Yeah, he took a peek at his monitor to see how many laps were left. That move was a 9 laps to go, I can wait move. I don't think you're going to see that a little later.
And right now, as you see there, Matt Wood right now looking at that battle for second. Nicola Kochi still hanging on to the position, as we're going to do something a little bit different for this broadcast, being the last race of the season. Johan Norlampe is now joining us in the broadcast booth, who had been in the lead in the early part of the race. Thank you very much for joining us.
Johan, do you have a copy? Do you think you let the championship, it's a championship sitting down there in that chicane where you had your accident?
Yeah, it's true. That's gone now. It was 16 points difference now before this race, and Nuno is going to win the championship now, but that's the racing.
No chance of you to get those points back in a later race during like tomorrow or earlier this week that you might have one?
No chance. There is no more races, and if there is no way to catch those points because this was a split race.
Got it. That had to be crushing. What happened? Did the car get? I saw you got the left sides up. Is that what happened? You just lost it got loose when you got the left side tires up on the curb?
Well, it was very odd because I have driven that place hundreds and hundreds times, and I think it only was about 5 centimeters to left, and it took me by surprise. It was my first time to crash there, and not a good place now when the championship was on the edge.
That's what makes racing. It you never would have thought it would have happened there. Well, condolences on the loss, but boy, what a great season you had, and we enjoyed watching you race.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy because I'm an old guy, oldest participant in the top guys here, and I'm a grandpa, and I have those sick days and flew 3 weeks now or 4 weeks now. I'm now better safe, and I'm very lucky at that. I got in the middle of the season one miracle from the God, and I was cured from the chronic fatigue syndrome disease, and it's the most amazing thing in my life now, and I'm very happy. Even I didn't won this championship, but we won team championship. Yes.
Well, get out there and spread the word, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the time, Juha, and thank you very much. That is definitely good news for him, as you may have noticed in past races, having on the Fittipaldi Automotive machine, as well having helped cure CFS on his car for the races.
One of the nicer guys you'll ever want to meet. He is really something.
And with that, though, you still see the position battles on the screen with these two battling still for second. Nuno Moreira has just pulled himself away, now up to 3.4 seconds in front because of these two.
Or has he won the championship? After talking to Nora Lampe, who knows what could happen to our leader?
Yeah, we've seen just about everything that could happen today so far. You see an accident in the lead, you see an accident from the car in second place. All it takes is one bad exit, and it could completely shift around the point standings. We'll see what happens from here on out. As you see there, Kochi trying to keep in front of Matt Wood. Matt Wood using the toe, 3 car lengths down to 2. Quickly down to 1 as he dives to the right side. Matt Wood going for the pass with 6 laps to go. Passing by the normal first chicane, and he's able to get the pass. Having to let off to 184. Kochi having to let off himself. Going to have to position himself again.
Quickly go to 5th as Bycroft makes the same move. This is history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes, and here you have it as Bycroft gets around Toika.
And the Toika fan club will not be too pleased that the position there was lost, but if you're Toika, you're thinking, okay, let's try and get this top 5 right on back the next time around if possible. There is still 6 laps to go, and when it's 6 laps to go, well, it's kind of like money time at this point. It's kind of where you earn those points as a driver. As Marco Kika, by the way, has now pulled off the track. 11 cars remaining on the track here at Monza.
Little known fact, Steve's middle name is Good, so that'll work here as it's going to be Steve Goodbye Croft, as he's going to try to say goodbye to Toika right now.
Okay, right now we'll see if he can do goodbye, or will he say hello and land on a Bycroft plane. I don't even know if that pun makes sense.
I think Toika's in trouble. I think Steve really has the pace right now. No chance of getting up to Ruicola in 4th.
Yeah, Ruicola still way out in front, you mentioned there. Racing on his own on the front stretch right now, about 5 seconds away from the nearest car, really. And Bycroft and them are about 10 seconds back. So as you see there, Toika trying to get the pull down the front straightaway. Still not in the best position to go for the position yet, as you see there going into the right turn. 5 laps to go, and he's not even letting off the gas pedal here, trying to get as much speed as he can to keep up to position himself possibly for the next lap. We're going to continue to look at that battle as it continues. Meanwhile, Ben Lafter, John Stevens, that battle still going on. Steve Bycroft's teammate Stevens is still trying to keep up and get 9th spot back from Ben Lafter. Both of these two were working together a little bit on the radio with their positions, so they are probably going to possibly go and continue to fight on right to the white flag for this spot.
We saw Laughter just yesterday. I called a race. We were calling the I called so many. I think it must have been the Camel GT race that we called. He was racing in that one.
Yes, exactly. That was the race right there that we had called.
Were you with me on that one? You and I were on that one too. Huh?
Yes. I was on that one. And Laughter had a decent race in that one as well. He's trying to have a good race as well with the 9th spot, because this is the only position battle for these two they are in range of at this moment. Meanwhile, Matt Wood, Nicola Kochi still second and third way up the track. And Matt Wood, with 4 laps to go, positioning himself to be able to keep the second spot on the podium.
Yeah, I think these guys have given up any hope of running down Morietta now. They're just racing for real. And looks like Wood getting to open it up a bit in the yellow car.
Yeah, Wood last time by was a 10th faster on the last lap. And his fastest lap is also exactly 2/10 faster than Nicola Kochi. But then again, got to make sure you get everything perfect from here on out. The tires are definitely got to be worn out for now. Yes, you can last on fuel about 90 minutes, but these times, as the race has gone on, have somewhat slowed down a little bit here and there, and for some drivers, actually have increased.
Okay, friends and family of Nuno Morietta, start mixing up the poncha. That's a traditional adult beverage Portuguese punch. You guys can start celebrating here in less than, well, just over 3 laps.
Nuno Morietta in a great position to win the race for the 2nd straight week and potentially come away with that Drivers' Championship, as he is long ways away from that battle with second. When that battle started off, it was 2.4 seconds. He's pulled away by 1.3 seconds and is already running faster lap times than when he started off the race on worn tires, in fact, as well. Moreira separating himself out and capping off a great season for him. As you see that battle, Matt Wood and Nicola Kochi wing to wing right now out of the chicanes right there. Kochi not wanting to give up second, wanting to get second right on back.
They race down into Ascari.
And into Ascari, you see Matt Wood able to get the separation on the exit, going right into Ascari. About a half-second difference. That will go to 0.6 of a second.
Let's go to 9th real quick, as Stevens has just made the pass. But Best Medicine is not happy about this one, as Laughter is all over the back of him trying to get it back. I don't think he's going to get there. Let's stay on this. That's the blue car up in front of Stevens, ahead of the, I don't know what color that's, white and blue of Laughter.
And we were discussing this, that they were going to have potentially continue to fight to the very end of the race with 3 laps to go. John Stevens wanting to pull away here at this point. You can see, though, that Laughter having a better entrance into these turns, but Stevens, as we've seen with his teammate in Brycroft, able to have faster speed on the straightaways. As you see here, this could really set things up now. 2 laps to go as Moreira crosses the line. But right now for Stevens and Laughter, they're focusing on getting these spots. Stevens still in front. About a 5-6 car length difference between Stevens and Laughter. Laughter closes it to about 5 seconds. Passing by the grandstands as Laughter closes at the 3, passing towards the first chicane. Going right by the chicane, can he get on the left side this time? As Stevens goes to the defensive line on the right side, keeps the spot with 2 to go. As you see Laughter not letting up, and he's going to try and dive on him on a bonsai move, cannot get it underneath. And John Stevens with a bad entrance loses a ton of time as Laughter takes 9th.
That's a mirror pass right there. Laughter really big in the mirrors, and Stevens makes the mistake.
We have not seen anybody attempt that at all today into those chicanes, but now that position locked up as Nuno Moreira, with 2 laps to go, comes down the front stretch as he will take the white flag in front of the virtual fans. Up by 4.2 seconds, a very much deserved victory as he has worked his way to a big time gap as the race has gone on. You see there Matt Wood and Nicola Kochi way on back. Matt Wood, enough separation to come away with second at the moment.
We're supposed to stay neutral here in the GSRC booth, but honestly, Morietta winning, the Portuguese driver winning, that poncha punch sounds pretty good. If Nuolampi would have won from Finland, would have been like lutefish, and that's horrible. Who wants to have that? So yeah, I think the party's going to be better for Morietta than if a Finn won it. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
I have no idea how that would do, but either way, for Morera, I think he's focused on getting this thing in one piece to secure this thing off because, as Jake Sperry said last week, he went from great to legendary last week. Well, what's better than legendary at this point? Legendary champion? That is very much the case for Morera as he approaches the final turns on the track here at Monza. Going down the straightaway into a few more chicanes and turns to go. Just has to have one clean exit, and he will come away with the victory. In fact, he will by about 4.5 seconds. Nuno Morera will come away with the victory here in Italy. And Morera very open there for the victory there. Matt Wood comes away in second. Nicola Cocci third. Callie Ricola comes out in fourth. And Steve Bycroft still trying to hold off for fifth on Toyka. And does exactly that. Steve Bycroft rounds out in the top 5.
And with Steven's mistake, he's going to lock into 10th position. Laughter doesn't have anything to worry about. He's going to get 9th. Up ahead of them, it looks like Pickford's going to get 8th. Krojcik going to get 7th.
11 cars in total coming to the finish line. One car still on the track is 2 laps down. Thurston Cole, we've not talked about a lot. Still going to be a positive IR day for him.
Yeah.
Still being able to make it through that first lap accident to be able to come to the finish line. Everyone else involved in that incident has pulled off by this point. So with that, though, as he tries to get to the finish line, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. In a few minutes, we'll have your full results here on GSRC for today's race for the Classic Team Championship. And we will be right back here on the Global Sim Racing channel from Monza, Italy. And welcome back, everyone, to GSRC for the results of today's race for the Classic Team Championship here at Monza. And it was an exciting one to watch from start to finish, especially if you're a fan of Nuno Moreira, who came away with the victory today. He had no incident points to come away with the victory by about 4.5 seconds. And that was in front of Matt Wood, who with Matt Wood made the pass with about 3 laps to go to get into second past Nicola Cocci. Kali Ricola finished off in 4th, unable to catch up to the draft after the first lap incident, while Steve Bycroft, 21 seconds back, finished off in 5th in front of Timo Tuikla. Cedric Koricek finished off in 7th spot, while Mark Pickford finished off in a very quiet 8th position today. Ben Lafter, with a few laps to go, was able to get the pass after John Stevens did not get a good entry into the chicanes and got into 9th. Stevens still came away in 10th spot. Bill?
Here's a man after my own heart here. Finished all but 1 lap. Went out there, gets the Dory Award, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. It is Thurston Call. Then we get to the guys who had trouble, all 12 laps down or more. Marco Kika, Gernot Frisch had trouble. Norilampi, we know what happened to him as he crashed out from the lead, lost the championship. Adam Fraser, Sean Whitshire, Pablo Suarez, Lear Hughes, Fabian Gerber, and then 27 laps out of the lead in last place, Joni Kajanen. So there you have it, your 20 cars that took the grid. 10 of them finished on the lead lap. 10 of them finished at least 1 lap down.
And now that as you were just discussing before coming back from the commercial, you are getting the punch set up for this man, the winner of today's race and potentially the championship, Nuno Moreira. How are you feeling, sir? And can you hear us, by the way, sitting on that nice suede couch?
Hey, guys. Hello. I'm feeling okay. Hope you are listening to me
yes.
Okay, too.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great.
Yes, we can hear you now as you came away with no incident points for the race and came away with a 4.5 second win. How are you feeling after coming away with a victory today here at Monza?
I have to say I'm a bit not bored, but okay, it's good to win. But I didn't have the chance to fight either Gernot or you because they had this really bad luck incidents during the race. When I was approaching you, he spun and he lost control of the car, and so that was an end of a beautiful fight, I guess, and a beautiful race between us. And then Gernot was closing up, and he was on my pace absolutely, and we would have a great discussion about who would win the race. And then all of a sudden he just disappeared in the back. I don't even know what happened, but all in all, I was left alone at the front, and it was just a matter of taking the car home. And in the last few laps, I tried to make a few fast laps just for fun because it was a bit boring in all.
I think when you start making those fast laps too, because at one point the lead was down to 2.4 seconds, and then you were able to grow it to what it ended up being 4.5 seconds when Matt Wood and Nicola Cocci started battling 4-second spot. But as you've seen, there was a lot of things to happen around the track here. How was it to handle the mayhem and handle your car to keep up that pace, to be able to stay in the lead? As you mentioned, you were on your own. But how was it to handle the mayhem that happened in some parts of this race?
Well, I haven't seen a lot of mayhem or any kind of a normal activity between the races, but there were a few incidents. I think the close call that I had was when you spun right in front of me, and I really had to lift and move around because it would have been a nasty accident if I couldn't avoid you. But it was all good. So in the end, it was all about keeping the concentration and keeping things together. So that's it.
No, it's Soup here. I want to move away from the race for a minute, something more important. I've been doing some research. Can you tell me about this Portuguese drink called Madrian Punch, something called Poncha? You know what I'm talking about? Is this a real thing?
Yeah, poncha is something that you can find in Portuguese island, Madeira, and that is a drink that they have there that is like something from the the tradition of the island, so they love it. I'm not too fond of it, to be honest, but yeah, if you want to go there, go to Madeira, and you have a lot of poncha there.
Okay, well, I was trying to find something that you could help celebrate, but since you don't like it, never mind. Then you'll just have to have a sip, have a sip of soda or something.
Okay. While you have some poncha from him, just one last question before we let you on going. Basically, of course, this puts you in a good position for the championship points. How are you feeling heading into the last couple of days here before things wrap up here?
Okay, yeah, I think it is the end. This is the last race, the last big points race that we have, and I don't know, but I think I managed to capture enough points to pass you, and it was like it's a mixed feeling because I think he did a wonderful championship, and he was leading all the way to lose this way in the last race. It's like man, well. I just have to send him a big congratulation hug. Hopefully that he will feel better tomorrow. It's like this. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. It's no big deal. And to the rest of the people, also a big cheer from me. A big congratulations to everybody for the clean racing and the tight racing that we had. And of course, lastly but not least, also big congratulations to Sergio Macias. Yeah, I think he wrapped up the overall championship, the iRacing official championship from like 3 or 4 races ago. So it was a really dominant season from him. So a big congratulations to him too from my part, and to everyone. Thank you very much, guys. Really, really cool Sundays that we have been having, and hope we can continue. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for the time, and congratulations on the victory. As now we're going to let Soup talk to Ben Laughter.
Ben, I know you weren't running up front, but my gosh, what a great battle you had back there with Stevens. That went on and on and on.
Yeah, I have no business being up in front in these cars. I'm just sort of starting to figure them out. But yeah, I seem to be about the same pace as John, and we had a heck of a good time.
What corner gives you the most trouble here?
Ascari in every car, all the time, forever.
Boy, I would say let's talk about this track without the first chicane. Man, it really changes the flavor of this thing. You go.
Oh yeah, I mean, first off, the speed is ridiculous, and in VR in an open top car, it's visceral. It's a lot of fun, and there's a thread of a line you've got to hit, and if you don't, you lose tenths. It's a good time.
We saw you yesterday in the Camel. What's your car of choice? What is your favorite car to race?
My Audi 90 GTO. That's my thing. I'm not traditionally a high downforce guy, but I do like classic cars with no aids on them whatsoever. You want to bore a person to death, put them in a GT3 car.
Well, with that said, why don't you wake up early and come on over racing the Lotus 49 one of these days?
Might do it. One of my teammates who unfortunately got collected in that turn 1 incident here today, Yone Kajanen, has been running the Lotuses lately and the 49s, and he's been speaking very highly of it.
Well, Ben, always good to see you race. Hopefully we'll see you in a couple series full-time next season.
You bet, Soup. Have a good one.
All right, Ben Laughter, Best Medicine, finishing 9th today.
Yes, a good finish for him, and of course, a good race to finish off the season in the final round, as we're going to like to say thank you to the Lotus 540-79, I should say, Classic Team Championship for choosing GSRC as their exclusive broadcast company. And it was a definite thriller for this race, and we'd like to thank the software and hardware providers that we use for a broadcast that you can see on our screen to help you bring the action for this exciting race today. We'd also like to thank our musical contributors and Eric Alcombe and Casey Lalonde, whose music you can find on the websites listed on your screen right now. With this being the season finale, GSRC's coverage of the Classic Team Championship has concluded for the season. Hopefully things will fall into place so GSRC can return to bring you yet another amazing and exciting season of Lotus 79 racing action. For more information about future races, you can see the list on your screen or go to globalsimracingchannel.com, where you can check out the past broadcasts as well as see the future schedule. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and on Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Now be sure to tune into our next broadcast as you see on your screen in front of you, as we cover a variety of series and a variety of exciting races, including, as you've seen, the Lotus 49s. For Dougie Beard, I'm Jed Yamid, and Bill Zong, I'm Justin Prince. And I'd like to say race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.